channels today. See. And there we go, sending data. Right, that one's up. Okay, it should pop up. Ooh. All right. Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, Snowbirds Meeting Room Day. I'm here with Tone and Gortok. I'm Shadow Spectre 11. And today I'm going to review the SCL. There's some parts of the video I'm going to jump to and stop and discuss some things on it. I mean, this one's 2 hours, but I'm going to try and skip through parts so I can get to certain areas and stop it and discuss it. So, I hope you all enjoy it, and let's get started.
It's about 10 seconds behind your face.
Yeah.
So I've got the speech in the video turned down so that I can hear you. My answers are not going to line up.
Right.
Well, they will when it's right.
Yeah.
You just don't need to hear it twice.
All right. Here we are. I got no music running today. Gonna make sure we shouldn't hear any music, but I did once. Okay, for those that are wondering, when Evo drops, when the Evocati drops, I'm going to stream, but I am not going to show anything. I'm going to talk about it. I will probably turn down the game sounds, play some music while I'm playing and learning about it. I can't show anything, just so you know, because that would mess up a lot of things. So, just saying. Hey, Brian, what's up? Okay, so
I'm sure there's a limit on things you can say, though, as well.
You can talk about it all you want. It's just that you can't take any screenshots or anything like that, or even show anything. I was going over the NDA, and I'm making sure that we don't get burnt for it. I've worked too hard to get here for that. So, here we are. Going to kick this over. As you all know, this is about This is about what we've dealt with in 25, what's going forward in 26, and what we're, I can't say kind of expecting. I mean, 4.7, what they're saying is going to have crafting and the inventory update. That's what they're aiming for. Okay, so we'll go from there, and here we go. Here's some of the video to start with. You all know this is with Benoit.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Star Citizen Live Tech Talk with Benoit Beausejour. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee, and if you've never seen Star Citizen Live before, lucky you. No, it's where we take usually about an hour out of our week and we chat with developers on these special shows that we do with our good friend, Chief Technology Officer and all-around swell guy, Benoit Beausejour. We usually take a bit longer. Last time we took 3 hours. The time before that it was close to 3 hours. I feel like it was maybe 2.5 hours. This time we're clocking in at about 2 hours because we have meetings that we have to go to at about 2 hours. So,
okay, I'm gonna speed through some of this. You all know it's Benoit, so gonna jump through a little bit and get started with some of the topics
that we've been covering through this before with the second section where we get into some new things that we haven't discussed.
Cool.
So let's start with the biggest one, which is server meshing.
Yeah.
We're now a year on. We talked about it ad nauseum leading up to this thing.
Hey, Ron.
It's now been out a year. This is probably the last time we're going to talk about it for a while again until Dynamic comes, and we're not going to put any dates on that. So let's put the story of server meshing. Let's put a button on the story of server meshing.
Sure.
And I'll break it down into 4 sections. How's it gone? How's this last year been?
Well, so like if I recap, like almost same date last year
Almost.
Hey,
was
Ron.
when we actually
So-
launched 4.0, and server meshing actually went to the live environment. And so, yeah, it's kind of the 1-year anniversary of the
Muted
tech
if you're
being
talking to
available
me.
for all players.
it's
been
saying hello to Roland.
surprisingly solid. I like to say that this way because it's a very large system, but it has given us just good foundation for what we had to do last year in terms of the content drive that we've pushed forward, the performance improvements
You
that we
have the
wanted to
sound
deploy.
on?
It was
I'm not
like
hearing it on
we were
Discord.
expecting a lot more turbulence with the release
you
of server
should be
meshing
able to hear
than
it.
we've had in a year. It's been a very, very stable system overall. And so I would
YouTube
say,
up
like,
to hear it.
you know, if I look back at the year, obviously there's always problems, you know, with new technologies, but
Yeah.
the server mesh.
Hold on. I don't have it all the way up. I can hear it through the desktop. For some reason. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, it should be running through. You can't hear it through Discord. It should be
No.
running through desktop audio,
Yeah.
but it's not. I don't know why. Okay. So I have to look into that. Check desktop audio, but
itself has been very, very, very solid for us.
Okay. So in the, quite frankly, years leading up to it, talking about it, it began to get this
well, also I'm not sharing it either
mythology that it was going to be this
That's-
silver
that's
bullet.
fine.
It was going to be this one-stop fix that was going to fix so many issues. It didn't fix every issue in the world. It was never going to fix every issue. But I want to talk about what it has enabled for us in this last year.
Yeah.
So what are some of the benefits that we can draw a direct line from server meshing that we've experienced in the last year?
Well, like if you
Okay, stop right there. How do you guys feel about server meshing when it finally settled out and we were in a decent state after when 4.1 dropped from the tech preview? Because we were in the 4.0 preview for a bit and it was rough. A lot of people just said no. And once we got into the next patch and they put in, hey Radium, what's up? Once we got into the next patch and things started working better, in 4.1, how did you guys feel about it? I was enjoying it, and yeah, they had a event that was running with that, but overall, what did you guys think?
Go ahead, Tom.
Being realistic, server meshing should be something that you can't tell is running until it's not.
Should
It
be.
should be seamless in the background.
Should
So,
be.
okay.
It seemed to me like it's gotten better, but when you like switch from one shard to the next, like after a long quantum jump or something,
Mm-hmm.
it takes 5 or 10 seconds for like inventory to show up or
Yep.
things to click in,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine, but I'm sure it'll only get better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot going on there.
Right.
You've got all of your inventory that's on you, plus all of the inventory that's in
At that
the
station
local
or
area
whatever.
you're in, the
Right.
instance. And when you're moving fast, say through a contested zone, a big one, and you hit a different part of that, which can be a different zone, all of that's got to transfer over. And if there's a lot of traffic on the server, it's going to take a second.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Brian says it was okay. You got to remember, Brian. I I think everybody needs to remember this. That was the first hit because we got Pyro, right? And that was the first kick of server meshing that it's static, and it's gotten better over the past year. I mean,
Right.
what do you guys think? That
Right.
it did get better as it progressed throughout the year. I've seen a lot of server errors, okay, through the past year, but 30Ks were very, very, very rare unless you were inactive and you got kicked out, which does happen. Um,
Or you fell through the what thing you were standing on, because when you ran into another part of the instance, it didn't load in.
right. Uh, I'm going to say that as we progressed and we got to an event that was very, very rough in the beginning, and Benoit does talk about the freight elevators, and he does state that we had a massive problem. We were working on it to fix it, and that's why they extended the resource drive a couple more weeks because there was so much activity at the freight elevators, and they changed the way the missions work because there was too much traffic at the freight elevators on the planets and stuff like that, and they changed it in this particular mission that we're doing right now. So I thought he was very forthcoming about it and apologized to everybody in there, and they took the hit on it. You know what I mean? Which was good. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, all they got to say is that everybody has to understand it's still alpha. They're still working things out.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I'd just like to know what I'm supposed to do with 70 cryopods in my inventory.
We still got those.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
What do I do with those?
right. I mean, what can you say? It's still got its issues, but it's much better than it was. Okay, gonna move forward a little bit more.
If you walk back to the Star Citizen experience before 4.0, so before server meshing got introduced, you know, a server crashing, that was the end of your session, right? You would lose your ship, you would lose your cargo, everything would disappear. You'd have to reconnect, restart the client, start over, right? I mean, anybody who's lived through the first years of development of the project know how intense this was, right? And so the first thing that server meshing brought us is server recovery. And so because of the fact that the replication is separated from the simulation, when a game server crashes, which is where most of the crash risk exists, well, the state of the replication is still good. So we just tell you, hey, we're getting another server, you stay there. And when it comes back, we can recover exactly where you were. You don't lose your ship, you don't lose your cargo, you don't lose your materials. And I think that's been a very, very big, it's a kind of the unsung hero feature of server meshing. It helps with, you know, engagement, playing longer sessions, finishing missions.
I have to agree. Hey, Wastelander, this one is better. The freight elevators were a horrible time. Yes, they were. The server recovery compared to what it was before server meshing is a lot better. The missions come back. You don't lose the mission or anything like that. Remember when we used to play and we'd get a server error and all of a sudden the mission that you were working on disappeared? It was gone.
Oh, I remember those days well.
That was like, I mean, it puts you back where you were. I mean, you were still there, but the mission would be gone, and you're like, ugh, that would suck. But this is much better. I'm gonna agree with Benoit on it. Compared to what we did have before, it was good. It's good. Uh, Anybody else got any thoughts on that before I move to the next? Gortok? Tone? Nope. Okay. I'm gonna head on. Let's go ahead a little bit. See what Jared's bringing up right now.
Remember,
Yes.
same year. It's this the most common question. We've been doing this for a long time now. Here, forget other places. We've been doing it just here for a long time. And one of the most common, persistent questions is about the pace of development, and people have been waiting very long for certain things, justifiably so. Yeah. And we've always maintained that its development kind of works on it builds. Yeah. It builds and it builds, and you get more efficient after you build the tools, after you build the foundations. Stuff like this, it gets more efficient. You can do more later on. This year, because of server meshing, we were able to kick out 2-star systems, and we're still expanding on NICs. Every patch this year will expand NICs even more. It's the one in March is looking to expand a bunch of the service stations, and our first big content drop, which I'll go ahead and say right now is supposed to be Rockcracker. If you watched what was it called, Citizen on Direct. Yeah. Again, names. You can learn more about that, but we're currently working towards that as our March release, and then on, just continuing to build out until I think in the Road to 1.0 presentation at CitizenCon 2 years ago now, a year and a half ago.
Billy Brew,
acknowledged.
Thank you for the resubscription. Appreciate it, man.
That Castro would be our next system whenever that comes online. So it's just this technology.
It's unlocked the capabilities to do what
we can actually start to deliver so many of these things that we've been talking about and working on behind the scenes. Instancing has some role in that.
Absolutely. Yeah, completely. There's one more thing that server meshing brought us that's not negligible, is a very substantial gain of performance on the game server
Yeah.
in general. So, like 324 game servers were running, we had a very low bar for acceptance on FPS for game servers because we just had to deal with so much. Nowadays, like server FPS is magnitudes higher, so that it actually allowed some of the content we've already produced actually shine because it was working properly, and so that's because
Gortok, I can hear you in the background. Is that the stream running in the background? I can hear it.
servers have less to simulate.
Going in the background,
we can
giving
optimize
it
their
kind of
workload.
an
We've
old
also
cell phone
reduced
kind of.
we've talked about this before, but we've reduced the size of the game servers because they just have to simulate one area. And so overall, the meshing has improved server performance by big magnitudes.
Time is flying. 7 months. Wow.
Yes, Chet, no, my head is not smaller. My hair is just bigger. It was very windy and rainy today, and it's just whatever. No, I haven't had a dye job. It's grayer than it's ever been. No, we are not taking questions from chat, but I will comment on every one of you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had my mic up. Yeah, I'm muting the mic now.
Oh, okay. No worries, Gortok. My bad. Okay.
So that's static server meshing. We know the next big stage of server meshing is dynamic. What can you tell us, if anything, about that?
Well, so the dynamism in the mesh,
Dynamism?
right? Dynamism, I guess. So we're running out of words internally to define what the next step of server meshing is. Currently,
he's
we're
got on
working
his
on
table. I wouldn't mind having one of
quasi-dynamic
those.
server meshing, which is we're trying to iterate on the static mesh, right, to bring it so that if an area is empty, right, and nobody's there, we can spin down a server, and if people go to that area, we can spin up a server. To achieve all this, all of the mechanics required for a full dynamic mesh need to be there. So like mass authority transfer between servers, because when a server goes out and it has X amount of entities that it currently has authority over,
To give all those
it needs to give that to another.
There was a point in this where they said 200 servers. 200. Right? I'm like, where is that going to hit?
Well,
Go
my
ahead.
thoughts on that, just pulling something out of thin air. If you take 10 servers and cut them in half, you have 20. If you cut that in half, you have 40. If you cut that in half, you have 80,
Mm-hmm.
and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're moving a server over to a shard, or then
Hey,
you could,
KP. Yeah.
then you can have that many servers,
Okay.
or they're literally buying more server space.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then I'll leave it at that. After that, it's actually just my opinion, which can be way off.
Well, we just got to figure out what they're going to hit with. We don't know for sure how they're going to do it, but once it hits, and we won't know it until they actually say it. I think things will be smoother. The one quality of life feature that I am really looking for is being able to set a marker and share it out with other people. 1.0, 5 systems depending on the density of those systems starts to sound like more likely needed. Yes. The next system that we're supposed to get is Castra. That's what has been suggested. And then after that, we're going to Terra. So Castra is going to be interesting. Not going to lie. I can't wait to take a look at it and check it out.
What's the lore behind Castro?
Oh, there's a lot. I have to look it up and read a lot about Castro.
When we get Castro, is there going to be planets or
Yes.
just a station?
No. We're supposed to have a planet because there is a station there. It's not going to be like it's a landing zone, and I think it's supposed to be elevated or something like that. I have to look. I have to go back and look at the hey Chiggy.
My next obvious question, is it going to be
Sure.
lawless or is it going to be a
I don't
UEE.
I think it's going to be UEE, but I have to go back and look at the Citizen Con that had original lore. There's 2 planets. That's what Wastelander says. 2 planets. So
And Terra's going to be our solar system, correct?
yes, it's not going to be Sol, which is Earth, but Terra is going to be. It's on the side of a mountain. That's what Chitty says, and Wastelander says it's UEE controlled. So Chiggy, is it a platform or is it in the mountain?
Probably in the mountain. Something like Brim Hex.
Yeah, I have to go back to the Citizen Con that had that
Can I interject an idea?
so showing. Yeah, go ahead.
I would love to see a space elevator where you park in orbit and have to take an elevator down to the planet.
Mm.
That would be cool.
Oof.
Why?
So you could park capitals in orbit and still get on the planet.
Mm. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Because then you wouldn't have to fly a ship down to the planet, you know? Oh, it's jetting out of the mountain? Okay. That'll work. I have to look at that. What other things would you guys like to see on that? I mean, an actual space, actual elevator that transfers all the way down to the planet. Ooh, that's a long way, man.
We'll still have to have some kind of docking station to hold your ship in orbit.
Well, yeah, that's what he's saying. You could dock the ship there,
Like a platform.
mm-hmm, and then have a elevator going all the way down to the planet. That's a long ride. What do you think, Toad? How long would that take going down there?
Well, if you did it at a rate that a human could sustain, like 2-3 Gs, it would take as long as it would to actually fly out of the atmosphere of, say, Orison. We're talking about 2 minutes, 3.
Okay.
But the whole object of the elevator is so that you could get ground-based missions without having to
take a ship down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically you are. It's just a loading screen in a box.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that's the point.
Well, for that to be faster, they would probably put in a loading screen. Like,
well, that's technically all an elevator is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you, okay, take Clusher, for instance. When you leave Clusher, you actually get a loading screen to Everest Harbor.
Right.
There's truth in that. Yeah.
So I could see that, if that does come about. Next topic. Let's see how far they go into
Other one,
this.
and that obviously you don't want that process to lock up the parent server. So
Okay, that's still server meshing. Let's move forward a bit.
well, I think that obviously coming from the server meshing improvements, there was also some failings at the beginning of the year where we saw, transit became a very big problem.
Oh, the transit system. Okay. The trains and all like that. Area 18, they said, is going to be a test bed for the new transit system. Okay.
Yeah.
I would like to see them add Microtech
Yeah.
and Orison.
Well, I think Microtech needs it more than Orison. There's a few glitches at Orison, but not like there are at Microtech.
Going to need.
Train ride has so many glitches, it's awful.
Well, it's gotten better, Gortok. Even though every once in a while I will
Over
see.
the years, I agree, but it's still
it's still rough.
It's still ugly.
Yeah. KP said it would only work with the shuttle. Radium says, I think orbital station over each planet could serve that purpose. Dock your Javelin on Bikini, hire a shuttle down to Area 18. And Wastelander says, going to need a lot of server meshing done before Killian. 14 to 15 planets. Wow. Okay. And Radium says that's kind of why the 890 has an 85X, and the Idris, the MPUV, etc. Yeah, true. Because the MPUV in there would make. I wonder if a rework means just background changes or a rework that involves changes to how we move around. Like no more shuttles. I don't know. I don't know. If you hear a sound like when the text chat or somebody throws a chat out, it's for me to hear it. So
No, go ahead.
I know when people are saying something. So that's why you hear that little extra sound.
That's an example of a
Only
system.
because we tried to use it.
Yeah, well, yeah, or tried to serve you, but badly. But the
Sorry about that.
that's
you're
an example
fine.
of a system that was built years
Basically,
ago. That
in a nutshell, you're talking about reworking the load screens between areas. The shuttles have improved, but sometimes they don't always act right. If it's a busy server, Orison shuttles will either not show up or just appear in front of you.
Yeah.
Or you'll be on it and it'll show up and not line up, or it'll show up and then leave. And it all depends on what the servers are doing. So yeah, they could be some reworks in there or some standard passes at minimum, my belief.
I mean, there's times when I've gotten on a train in New Babbage and it runs flawlessly. But then there's times where you see it, hey Vagroma, what's up?
Jump the tracks 4
It'll
times before
yeah,
it makes it visit. Yeah.
yeah, you see, and sometimes it's scary, man, because
Right.
all of a sudden it'll be at the exit.
Station. I love it. I love the Loreville one where it does that 360 right after it leaves the main area.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's pretty spooky.
I'd
Because
forgotten about that.
I for sure thought the first time I did it, I was gonna die. And start all over again. Right?
I remember. Holy crap! What's happening?
Yeah. That was funny. So, I mean, I don't know when this is gonna happen. When they do this. We'll see. The first this tech preview that is supposedly coming up for Evo is about the new inventory. Now, like I said, I cannot show you anything. I
They've
can
already showed it.
well
They
they
hadn't
showed
explained it all.
they've shown the pictures, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me to actually do something in it, I won't be able to show it. I'll be able to talk about it, and I'll work on it live. I may turn the game sounds off and, like I say, play some music. You will only see my webcam, but the chat will be there, so I will know when there's a chat or somebody's
Yeah.
coming up. So what I will do when that happens, I will be running the Snowbirds Meeting Room channel, the main channel, and also the Twitch. So I will be running all three. So just so you guys know, um, like I say, I cannot show anything, but I can talk about it, and you can see how I react and what's there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, I've been going over the NDA to make sure that I can do this. So, uh, or I can actually make a video of it, right, to explain things and talk about them and do it that way. But I won't be able to show anything. It'll be just me talking. So, just giving you a heads up. Okay. Next thing in here. Let's see what Benoit says.
A fun system to go through. So that's in. We fixed the goddamn bounty beacons.
They're talking about things that they worked on in 26. Okay. Or 25. Let's back up a little bit.
A stable tech base for the content teams. What doesn't show is that to achieve the content we shipped in 25, we actually froze a lot of the technology to give the content teams a stable base to work on. Before, it was a bit more of a mayhem. So we did that. As we built all of this content last year, so a monthly patch was a very heavy cadence.
10 patches last year.
Yeah. I think that what's really cool is that we've built kind of a library of locations and events that if you start playing Star Citizen today, there's that to do, right? It's like that. We never had that before, like a real set of locations that have like a full-on, storyline to follow. So that's really cool. In these locations, we're able to ship some new creatures. So a lot of new creatures and boss fights. So we had the first couple boss fights this year, with Yormandi, Stormbreaker. So that's like a brand new, design discipline for us to design boss fights for multiplayer elements. So that's new. Spawn in hangar is something that we've actually been able to enable this time. So we tried to enable it in end of 24, and that was a bit of a disaster. 25 now, spawn in a hangar is there. So if your hangar is available, you spawn directly there. That's actually a very large quality of life improvement. I play the game a lot. It's, not having to go to the habs is fantastic.
Okay. This is something that I've talked about before. Hangar spawn. Now, don't get me wrong. Love it. Okay. Love it. But when you first start off, right, and you go to the hangar in a brand new patch, all right, you have no supplies, and Gortok, this is Gortok's thing. No bullets, no drinks,
No food.
no food, no nothing. Okay. When we first start off, and now this is a quality of life thing I would like to see. When you first start off, I would like to have a choice. Either spawn in the hangar or spawn in the hab. Give me an option where, say, I started off in at home Microtech, right? And I happen to die, right? Now, we know we're going to spawn up in the hospital, but on that initial startup, I would like to have the choice of the hangar or the hab so I can go get supplies and stuff like that before I get to the hangar. And then there's times when I've come back and I spawn in the hangar, but then I have to go back to the city. I would like the choice to either spawn in the hangar and go right away if I've already got supplies, or if I need to go to, like, say, the Kelto or something like that, pick up stuff and then go to the hangar. What do you guys think? Would that
I
be
agree
cool?
with that. The reason being is spawning in the hangar at, say, on the planet where you have a pretty decent ride back to the city. It's nice to get in to be in the motel and it's come down and be right there where everything is at.
Mm-hmm. I
You know,
mean,
plus if you're a newish player, you don't know where stuff is. If you're in the hangar, you've got a double hit because then you have to figure out how to get back.
okay. Now we know the Kelto only has so much, right? So you're gonna have to take a train to New Babbage or whatever, right?
Go for it.
But
Look in there, right here.
Orson has a better setup because when you come into the hab, you can go right over somewhere
Yeah, throw me some of those in there. You can have the charred
Pick
tomatoes.
up here.
and
You can have,
pick up stuff.
and those are actually red bell peppers.
Orson does have Providence platform, so you have to go and take a shuttle to it.
Now, if I have, can I add to this?
Go.
If, say, for instance, at Riker Spaceport, if they would put a basic shop in there, or even Lorville is a good point, a place to buy food, drink, and ammo, and light armament like the 7-Eleven over at Orson or the 7-Eleven
Well,
over at New Babbage, then
you've got Cubby Blast right outside of 18 when you come out of the hab.
yeah, but I'm talking about the hangar.
Okay, the hangar. Okay.
Yeah, because if we spawn in the hangar at Lorville, we got to go all the way back to town to get something to drink.
No, you don't. Not anymore.
Mm-mm.
Not anymore. In Lorville, they put a Kelto right at the ASOPs.
So they fixed it. Nice.
Yes. So if you spawn in the hangar at Lorville, you can come out and there's a Kelto right next to the new deal. They added
Cool.
that.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah. It doesn't have a lot, it's pretty basic stuff, but it's there. So
Yeah, it's not nice when you land in your hangar and you're at 11% water and your vision's going out.
Right.
and you
You
don't
don't
have
wanna
anything.
Ship on
Having to
standby.
get on a train. Much rather have a drink right there.
Mm-hmm.
Or they make it so that when you pop a med stick that you get like 10% of your water back.
Yeah, but see, you also got to remember if you're not based at Lorville, it's going to put you in the hab.
Yep.
So you've got to make that trip from Metro Center to TISA. You still have to make that trip. But if you set your spawn to Lorville when you start, you red bell peppers. That's what Radium said. You still got to make that trip. If you set your spawn, your home planet to Lorville, you'll be in the hangar and you can go up to the Kelto. But you still have to make the long trip to Metro Center. So that's why I say I would like the quality of life option to go into the hab or into the hangar. My thought.
Or do like they do have a small hab built into the hangar itself. That doesn't survive it. Never mind. That don't make no sense.
No. That is something that has come up. That is something that has come up where people have wanted to agree with the choice. Oh yeah, I like the choice. They did say that the hangars would eventually come with extra rooms, so you can add to your hangar. And I don't know if there'll be a spawn point in there, like a bed or a hab or something like that. I don't know, but that's been talked about. So we'll see. 324 when hangars were persistent hangars came in, they were rough. They've gotten a lot better, but there's still the issue where your hangar will phase with somebody else's, and you'll see a ship land or appear right in your face and
phase through into your ship.
Yeah, phases into my ship.
You have to walk through their ship to get to your cockpit.
Right. And you can tell when something happens. You can tell when it happens because the graphics will get weird. When I go to the ASOP, it turns green or something like that. I said, okay, I'm phased with somebody's hangar. So I kind of wait a little bit and then be able to go in. That's all I got on hangars. I'm happy about it. I love my persistent hanger. There's times when it does glitch and you wake up in the hab instead of the hanger, which has happened a few times. But it's gotten better. Sometimes the character repair will work and sometimes it won't. It just depends on the situation.
Can I add a quality of life improvement for the truckers in the family?
Go ahead.
It would be nice if you're in a whole sea and you've got like multiple gates to go through that they add an autopilot feature to go through the gate so that you're not like having to be dead on it time after time after time after time, because you're going to go through 5-6 gates eventually just to get to where you're going.
Okay, say that again. I'm sorry, I missed something.
Want an autopilot for
to the wormhole.
gates?
The jump gates from Stanton to Pyro.
Okay.
The wormhole. When you're doing long distance hull C, D, or E, eventually you're going to be hitting like 7 or 8 gates.
Okay.
7 or 8 wormholes. Autopilot through the wormhole would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of flying through there after you do it like 15 times in a day.
Well, Benoit says it is a mini game. Going through the wormhole. It is a mini game. It gives you some control. You can't control your speed, but yeah, some people I've noticed in the past couple in the past week that when I try to go through the uh Pyro gateway to Nix, that it kicked me out to Pyro every time I did it. So I had to go all the way around and go back to Stanton and then go to Nix. It was acting up. Now, Fire was trying to get to us in Pyro, and he got kicked out 3 times and put him back in Stanton. On the 4th time, he was actually able to make it. I'm gonna say that there's been a lot of issues, quite a few issues with 4.6. It's not perfect, but it's better. But I've been staying away from Levski. Now, a lot of people have been having issues with Levski. Gortok, you set your spawn point there.
Yeah, I figured that there'd be a lot of cargo going to and from the filters and the samples and all this other crap, and it was. So that's why I figured I'd do that. So at least I could spawn ships that I needed from there or to there.
Okay.
There's 3 times as many NPCs as what they've got or what they need.
Mm-hmm.
They're blocking pathways and steps and ladders. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But there's mechanical issues.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen this where you try to land and you're instantly repositioned, and it's like, and then the ship's claimed and your cargo's gone, and it's like, what a mess.
Yeah.
I worked for 2.5, 3 hours carrying loads, and half of them had to be abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I got 70 cryopods sitting in my inventory. I'm like,
Right.
come on, man.
Right.
And that's I don't know that that's strictly Levski though. We've seen some other issues
Oh,
with
I've
others,
had
but
some issues.
the landing and repositioning thing is that's so infuriating.
Oh, that is so frustrating. I am not gonna lie. That happened to us the other night when Fire and I were doing a mission, right? And we landed and everything was going okay, and then all of a sudden the ship elevator dropped, right? And we were still in the ship, and then the hangar doors closed on us above us, and we couldn't get out.
No way.
Yeah. So
I missed that. Holy crap, that is nuts.
it's on stream. It happened, and
It's the elevator's not supposed to take humans down at all.
exactly, we were stuck, and the only thing I could
Oh,
think of
man.
is that we were inside the ship,
And it just
and it sucked it
didn't
up.
see you there.
Right,
Oh man.
and we were down at the bottom. We couldn't get out. I said, "Hey, Fire, try to take the ship off and see if it'll just phase through." No, it wouldn't. So we had to log out, log back in, and it didn't. It
Did,
we lost the
did,
mission. Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it would store the ship, but yeah.
right. See,
I'm betting
you were
that if
there,
one
Gortop.
of you, no, I was watching,
Oh,
but I was like, man, I was wondering if just one of you had logged out,
I don't know.
rejoined the server,
Well,
There's the mission.
you were doing it because you came over and I tried to send the cargo down and it wouldn't register. It wouldn't register as a completed mission.
Right.
Because I
I
took
was probably half asleep by then.
yeah, but I took the I took the cargo off and tried it that way and it didn't work.
Right. And well, that's when I came in, was when you were trying to get it down.
Right.
The boxes spawned outside the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what in the hell? That's about when I came in. I started.
Right.
Man, that's a mess.
Wastelander says CIG should make a button in case you get trapped down there. Unstuck button. I would go
Well,
with the unstuck.
you should go to menu, log back in, and then bring the ship up.
Yeah, that's what I tried, and it didn't work. So, and when I logged out, I lost the mission. If there would have been a server error or something like that, it might have recovered. I don't know.
Right.
But it didn't happen. Okay.
So, what'd you do with that cargo?
You dropped it down in your freight elevator.
In my inventory.
Yeah, it's over at
so
her something. I don't remember.
well,
Okay.
I got more than 70 cryopods in there.
Right.
My inventory is probably double what it should be.
Right. So I'm going to move to the next thing in the video. Let's see.
To solve some of these issues, instead of previously we used to just assign tickets to people and they would find the fastest
Quality
way to
of
solve
life
it, and now we
improvement
kind
in
of
the
make work
inventory
as a
would be
team.
stack.
That there was something about that in this SCL with the new inventory. They're working on that.
Objects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With the teams in quality assurance that are basically the arbinger, like, no, it's not fixed. I can still repro, right? And these guys have been going through a systematic approach for it. I think that's paid off a bit,
We get better.
Yeah.
Not always, but we try. And in this case, we've definitely gotten better. There were some big changes to internal infrastructure and stuff in the last year or two, and we're seeing the results of that stuff. All right. So now let's go into some specific updates here. So let's talk about the transport system. We don't need to talk about transit so much anymore. The transport system is what will one day replace this thing. I've heard talk about there being a tech preview of it soon. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about the transport system.
Well, so transit was problematic, wasn't designed for server meshing. And so transport is a complete rebuild of the transit system, but using more server meshing native approaches for how different pieces are going to manage elements that are streamed out and streamed in. Mm-hmm. We're also moving away from some previous misconceptions that were put into the transit system. For example, one of them was responsible for trains going into space. We don't want trains to go into space. So
you might not.
They're still talking about the train system
unless
here.
we do a space elevator.
Astro train.
Yeah,
oh,
Astro.
They mentioned the space elevator, Tone. They mentioned the space elevator.
Train would be great. So the state of transport, right? So at the end of last year.
Sorry, I'm going to pause.
Uh-huh.
What's included in transport? So what? What are we talking about?
So
elevators?
transit and transport manage elevators, in-ship elevators, trains, anything that has to move when you press a button and you call it. So it's a network of carriage, peripheral, and gateway. Okay. Right. So you take an elevator to go to your hangar. That's transit.
You take a tram.
You take a tram.
Anything that's automated, anything that moves you not under your control.
Right. And he's the one moving the carriages, right? Okay. So he needs to deal with carriages being streamed out, like prediction for that stuff. So so transport is a rebuild of the original transit, which has been, as we talked about, problematic. So the state on transport is at this point, we are, it's functional. So we've, the team at the end of last year actually completed the first transport link, which was we tested this internally with our QA teams extensively at this point, all of the new Babbage HABs links. So we took one link in the universe, that one, and we tested the crap out of it. Right now, that's a static link. So it's going, this. When I say static, it means the 2 points that the elevator goes to exist. Okay. They always exist. So we know that works. Then the state at the moment is we also support hangars. So these are dynamic gateways, because if you're online and you're at the location, your hangar is spawned there. That's a dynamic gateway. If you leave, that gateway disappears. So the system needs to deal with dynamic gateways. The previous system kinda did. And the kinda bit was the piece that wasn't great. Okay. And so we've got internally at the moment, new Babbage, we've got hangars and HABs. So the state of transport now is the team is working at converting all of Area 18. So we're talking HABs, hangars, transit trains, all of Area 18 to the transport system. So we're going to go to tech preview with that. That's our plan. And the reason why we need to go to tech preview is because we need players. We've tested this internally. We can't muster as much players as we want. So we're going to try to see if you guys want to come and help us out, test the new Babbage transit for real on a tech preview to validate all the assumptions that are in the system.
So we're going to launch tech preview and ask people to just come and ride the elevators.
Correct.
Come and ride the trams.
And their hangars.
Yes. And hope nobody dies.
No trains in space, no doors opening to nothingness. That'd be great. No passing through the floors in the carriages.
The single most exciting tech preview we'll ever do. But incredibly important, because it's a tech preview that doesn't just affect Area 18. It's one that can literally affect quality of life in every single landing zone, on board every single spaceship.
That has an elevator.
Ships that have elevators. Correct. And stuff. Well, then space stations, it's going to be this little thing for Area 18, but it ripples out to everything.
And so after a tech preview, if everything is validated, there's one thing too we want to try to avoid is the train prediction taking like you in 32 seconds to come in, where the train says train arrives in 1,060,000, which obviously we hope that.
I just thought it was a metaphor for the project.
Okay.
Am I allowed to say that?
Thank you, Tone.
So after tech preview, we're gonna scale this out to every landing zone, and we're gonna see which patch this will load in. But at that point, we hope to bring transport in and completely deprecate the transit system from the game and nuke it from orbit.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that's next week?
We don't give dates. Best effort, but it's looking good. Like this tech preview is going to be where we're going to evaluate really like where we're at with scale, because the issues of transit typically come up with scale most of the time. Right?
Fair enough. I told you we get back to freight elevators.
Yeah.
So what can you tell me about freight elevators and what still needs to happen?
Sure. So the
freight elevators, yes.
The freight elevators are way more complicated than we can imagine because they get affected by other systems like hangars, like planetary locations. There's also multiple flavors of them, top loading, side loading, and they all operate very differently. So this year, we've had issues at the beginning of the year clearly with the freight elevators, like losing items, obstruction, blocking them from functioning.
You said the beginning of the year, but that really came to a head in July.
Yeah. Where we had even an event that would rely on them, which was, in retrospect.
Yeah. Well, we knew there was a collection of issues, but we also, all of our data said they were only
localized.
The localized list. It wasn't until we went to scale.
That's right.
That we realized, oh, this is actually even worse than we thought.
Right. It's also coupled to a couple of things, and for that event specifically, which was, we concentrated missions in key locations. That's one thing that has been in our discussions all year, was how we distribute missions, right? How we, if we launch a new mission tomorrow morning and we send everybody to the same spot, that is problematic, not just because it's not fun, because it's a traffic jam, but also it causes other issues. And so we learned a lot from that on the.
Okay, there it is. The freight elevator issue. They said that was a big problem, and they're taking the hit on the chin. Where they said, okay, this is a big issue. We got to figure it out and fix it. Now they're still working on freight elevator problems where we're losing items and stuff like that. So it's something that they've got in mind to fix. I mean, all I can say is I don't know when this is gonna come to where it's gonna be fixed. We have no idea. But they're looking into it. That's all I can say.
Design side, I think, overall. But so freight elevators, though, so we're pretty happy with some of the core mechanics, but there's still very egregious issues that we're tracking. So there's roughly 73 total issues that we know about. 51 of those have been resolved. So I've asked one of our teams in our Nathaniel Fisher, resident expert in freight elevators, to track that. So the rest of these issues some of them are really problematic. One of them we actually discussed, you and I, just before the show, was how if you're turning in Wicklow items, you need to put them one by one.
You have to be able to put things in a box. You have to be able to put things in a box.
Correct. And so
you have to be able to put things in a box.
Wicklow.
And suck up that box.
Yes, I agree, 100%. And so that's going to be one of the first ones I think we need to look at. The other one is a bit more problematic because we don't have a proper repro for, but sometimes there are lost items that fail if there's like a back-end slowdown when things get stowed. So we have a couple reports for this, not many, but the ones that we have are critical. And so, this is a kind of a rule we've set on the CGP team. So Jens and I are pushing this to everybody. It's like the golden rule for everything related to freight elevators or anything that touches inventory is a player should never lose an item interacting with these systems, right? We need trust in them 100%. And so that's why we're tracing on those issues. So there's still a lot more work required on freight elevators for different edge cases. A new one that we started seeing in 4.6, which seems affected by another change, but is sometimes like putting stuff on the elevator, not on the grid, will cause it to disappear,
right?
Which is kind of a physics cleanup conflict. So I know we're looking into this right now because that's a big one. But and then everything that has to do with stacking. So
okay, Gortok, stacking. They're talking about that. Okay.
Having a stack in your inventory that you want to unstow onto the freight elevator, that mechanism from a backend perspective is actually a creation. I know that sounds weird, but you have a stack of 10, that's one item with a stack of 10. You may bring it's a creation of 9. So that bit is not stable right now. We're trying to improve that that mechanism.
It's hard because there's a lot of the chat right now is debating Wicklow at the moment. And
wait, did I say his name?
Well, if I say it 3 times, he shows up on the screen. But a not insignificant part of the dislike for Wicklow is directly related to that freight elevator. It's just we have a section later on. We asked around. We'll get to it, but we'll give you a preview. But we started talking like what is the single greatest quality of life thing that we can do. And I went around and I asked a couple head honchos here around the company because I was curious. I did an interview before. Like what to you is the single biggest quality of life thing we could do? The single biggest. And on more than one occasion, shout out to Jens. I'm going to spoil it here. Not losing items. Just not losing items. Just that seemingly simple, benign, innocent little thing. Like if everything else is important, everything else is super important, everything else is super necessary. It absolutely is. But God is my witness. If we can just make it so people don't lose their items, so So shout out to the heroes of the freight elevator Hero Squad. I thought it was Strike Squad, but you've rebranded it during this call as Hero Squad, and I like it.
Right.
So we'll do it, and everybody, the people in item recovery, the people in the new inventory, people who are working on the new inventory system right now. It's everybody working to fix that, because that's just the single most demoralizing thing in the world.
It is. It's frustrating.
Speaking of item recovery,
Yeah.
we launched V0 or V1 or whatever the heck we called it, T0.
None of it already
I'm
works.
hearing that
When
there's
you buy
a
ammo, it stacks in your inventory.
Yeah, but it's not when you put it on the freight elevator. I don't use the freight elevator to bring things up.
I don't either.
I stick with the regular inventory to do it, because there's so many times that I've brought up a weapon or something like that, it disappears.
Yep.
And even with like armor and stuff like that, I try not to bring it up on the freight elevator because it glitches and it gets stuck or it sinks.
Up to the floor.
Yeah, I stay away from that. The only thing I bring up is cargo, and that's it. Even if I bring the Atlas up in the freight elevator, it acts up. So I just bring it up on the main hangar floor and do it that way a lot of the time. There was so much in this SCL that I was thinking about and trying to bring up in this Snowbirds meeting room episode, that there's just a lot. I mean, I don't know what else to say. You guys' thoughts on some of the things that they did discuss. There's one big one that they're talking about that's coming in 26. Besides instancing and trying that out, is the social. Okay. They're going to work on the Moby Glass interface again, and they're going to put a social tab in there. And that is where we can communicate with each other through the Moby Glass and see who's doing what or something like that. What do you guys think about that?
Is that supposed to be some kind of bug reporting?
No. It is to communicate with each other through the game and say, you can actually see if somebody's doing a mission or something like that.
Oh, actually watch what they're watching?
No. You can join in on what they're doing through that, I believe. I don't know all the particulars, but the social thing is really huge. And they say they're bringing it in 26. More, please. More.
It's either going to be a resounding success or there's going to be some growing pains.
Well, most likely the growing pains, okay?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be up to the person.
Okay.
We don't really talk in game. Ever.
What do you mean?
We talk in Discord. We don't talk in game.
Oh.
And
the VoIP, the VoIP is supposed to be worked on as well.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm getting at. So many people are used to talking on a third-party app outside of the game that it may take a little bit to get used to doing it in the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I rarely use VoIP. The only time I use VoIP is when I am how can I put it? When I need to address somebody who's close by, and that's the only time I use it. Proximity chat. That's the only time I use it. Because you can hear people talking, right?
Turn that feature off by turning off your in-game mic.
The party and social functions need a lot of work. Hey, Time, what's up? Welcome. Voice over Internet Protocol. I was initializing work for our conference rooms back in 2005. I mean, that's just my thought, though. I was really trying to consider those things, and I would
think about it a different way.
What's that?
There are games where you talk to each other in-game through your mic, but it shows up as in-game.
Yeah.
And everyone in game in that area can actually hear you.
Yeah.
So if they change Star Citizen to that when you're doing a contested zone, while you're listening to all of the NPCs in the background talking, you would also be listening to your teammates talking as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see an issue with that, but it would just take, and it would ease up bandwidth, because we all know that third-party talking apps, Discord, eat up a lot of bandwidth.
Yes.
So for some people, that would help them out.
Yeah, Discord does suck up a lot of bandwidth. You were doing in the USAF, that just feels in the Azores, Portugal. Yeah, I landed at Portugal when I was in the Merchant Marine. It's such a beautiful place. It was cool. I'm trying to find that.
One on the horizon.
Correct.
Talk to me about it.
Well, so the obviously Tier 0 was a fairly large change.
We've gone over that. Let's see.
So this is not that.
No.
You're using lowercase I insurance.
Lowercase
not,
I, yes.
Sorry, I just needed to. I'm like,
Underscore I.
I didn't think ship insurance was coming in this one.
Yeah.
So just to clarify.
Okay, they're talking about the ship insurance and stuff like that. I'm going to go a little farther. Ship insurance is a touchy subject.
Keep it.
Now
Now
they're
you're stuck
persistent.
with it.
Yeah, some things.
Are you saying
aren't
you
meant
don't
to
want
be,
your ships anymore?
I'm just saying some things aren't meant to be persisted. So I just want to take this opportunity to just
That's a
encourage
good conversation.
There should be some way to remove to get
I'm
rid of
very
it.
curious about why you singled out the Rug DS.
Oh, they're talking about ships you bought in game. Okay, they're kind of talking about selling ships. It will be great if they use good compression and layered transmit options for multi-level command comms. Yeah, I love playing CS at the Top of the Rock Club. Okay, been there, great place. Yeah, there was a lot of great places. The Azores is beautiful. I'm gonna say that. What do you guys think about selling ships? Getting rid of ships that you bought in game.
Oh, I would love it.
I mean, I have a raft, okay, that I bought in game and tried it out when it got upgraded, right? And I got a raft, and during the ship showdown, and then I melted it and put lifetime on it, or 10 years or something like that. Now I've got an extra raft. I would love to have the option to sell that raft or put it on sale or return it to New Deal or something like that and get credit for it, even though it's been used a couple times, and
AFK.
get credit for it. That would be so cool. What do you got? What does the chat think about that? That would be slick. I would love to do that. That would be so awesome. Gortok, your thought?
I'd like to get rid of the Starlancer Max and get the Hermes. But the Max is $50 more than the Hermes, so I can't upgrade it.
You would have to melt the ship.
But the Hermes can't be bought with store credit.
Yeah, it can.
No, it cannot.
It can't.
Was just looking at it.
I think they said insurance claim for in-game purchases did pay out of its did a payout for of its current value, so then you can purchase it again or use that payout for a bigger ship. You just looked and you can't get the Hermes at
Hermes is 220.
yeah.
When you go to view offers,
Mm-hmm.
it says war bond, standalone ship for this
Yep.
is 6 month insurance.
Okay, standalone 6 months insurance for a Hermes?
Yeah.
But you can't upgrade to it.
No paints. No, I can't upgrade from the Starlancer. It's more than the Hermes.
You would have to melt the Starlancer and get it with store credit.
And
you
do
can't
the
do that.
standalone ship at 220.
Yeah.
No paints and 6 months insurance.
Yeah. Do you have any lifetimes or a 10-year that you could upgrade to it?
That led me to thinking about the Vulture. It's 175.
Mm-hmm.
I could do the upgrade from the Vulture to the Hermes. But I'm losing the scraper, gaining a cargo ship. Well, not really gaining. I'm upgrading, getting rid of the Starlancer Max.
Yeah, see, Wastelander
But
says
the Hermes carries more than the Max.
The Hermes
carries 288.
Right.
And the Max is only 229.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a definite upgrade.
So and then maybe even get a standalone or warbond or something on the mid-grade scraper coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-size.
If your ship is nice, then sell it on the market for above market value too. And in-game insurance equals in-game value. LTI, new ship, no payout. Okay, yeah, what Shadow said. Wastelander said he bought the Hermes with store credit. I mean,
as a standalone.
Yeah, as a standalone.
220. Yeah.
With LTI, you never receive the cash payout, only if you get a new ship. So buying ships in-game that get destroyed are a way for players to level up their ships in a way we can't with LTI. I don't Wasteland Time, I'm not sure why you're not coming up in my other chat. I'm not sure why. That's why I have to read it through the main chat. But I don't know. I just, like I say, Gortok, the only way I would do it is how much do you have LTI or
That's it.
anything.
That's the best LTI I've got is the Vulture.
Mm-hmm. You would have to melt the max,
I
right?
just pay $25 and get the yeah.
Yeah. But you could use the store credit on it. Your Vulture has, what does it have on it? Insurance wise.
LTI. That's what I'm saying. It's got the best insurance. It's got
Yeah.
the
Oh, I'm just on YouTube, not sure why. Yeah, I can see you in the main chat, but I can't see you in the my little chat window. That's your best bet, Gortok, to be
That's what I'm thinking.
fair.
I'll upgrade from the Vulture,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll probably melt the Max, and I got the Salvation as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the
The
medium
new
size
salvage.
salvage comes out, then I'll buy that.
I'm getting that.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna say it. I love the Fortune. I think it's a cool ship, but it is definitely going towards the new
Well, it's a single
Hotness.
hit. It's no better than the Salvation. You know,
It's
the
going
Vulture's
for the
got
new
two though.
hotness.
So
Yes,
it's got to have
yeah,
it's
I'm
got to have
going
a
for the
real
new hotness. Yeah, go ahead,
yeah.
Gortok.
It's got to have a real utility,
Yeah.
you know, and capacity.
Spend 5 mil on a Connie in game and earn 50 mil hauling. Connie gets blown up and you receive 3 mil payout. Take your 53 mil and buy a bigger ship with LTI and just get your Connie back in time. Uh,
He's not wrong.
no, he's not wrong. Like I say, I buying ships is an investment, you know, especially, pledge items. They're investments. But to go back there, I would love to sell ships in games, some ships that I don't use. I have an A1 that I barely use,
Right.
okay, that I bought. I keep it just in case I go to a situation where I need it. But other than that, like I say, I've got a duplicate raft that I want to sell because I have a raft. So it all depends on what you want to do.
You
I
talking about selling in-game ships? Or you
yeah,
talking about
in-game
pledge
ships, yeah,
ships?
in-game
Okay.
Now,
ships.
I
Yeah.
have a caveat to selling an in-game ship.
Okay, go ahead.
You cannot give it to another player because that becomes money laundering.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't considered that, but you're probably
If I
yeah.
buy an 890 jump and give it to Gortok, who then sells it, I'm basically giving him money a different way than through the wallet.
Well, it's AUEC.
Yeah.
I think buying and selling ships
They're already transferring
in
plenty of
game
money
will be
around.
fun.
Well,
We
you
will
joking.
craft our own and add upgraded parts and sell them.
Yes. Oh God, yes. That's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, that would be cool.
Oh God, yeah. I would love to see that.
I'm trying to find this thing about social because that is a big thing. I don't know exactly where it is, but they said that it's dropping in 26.
Database. And that is huge.
2026
because
or
now that means
2126.
there's no longer a process between patches. that transfers stuff or moves it around or recomputes things. It's the same database. We're just
2036.
moving its version forward on demand.
But on that note, they are
typo.
releasing patches at a lot more reliable rate than they used to.
Well, the cadence that they did last year was pretty extensive. Now, this year they're saying they're going bi-monthly. So every 2 months, we're going to get a patch. And they say that they're going to turn things on instead of getting little mini patches where, you know, we get a 4.621 or 8 or something like that. Now, I don't know if we're still going to have to download. If we do, it is what it is. But if they just turn something on, right? Instead of us having to download something, a whole new setup for like 5 gig or something like that, that's cool. I can deal with that. The download time is pretty extensive, especially when we get something new, because you've all seen the queues, okay? And the queues are huge because it is reading other people's assets before it gets to yours. So that's why we have the massive queues. It's reading all of your ships, your assets, and everything like that. So when you come in, that is your stuff. So when patch day comes and you see a queue of 3,000 and you're waiting for like 2 hours, it's going through all of those people's stuff before it gets to yours. And once you log in and get in, you're done. So that is what happens. It reads all the assets of everybody. That's why the queue is so long. I was thinking about that one day. I was like, why is this so long? And I said, wait a minute. It's reading the database. So, yeah. A 5 gigabyte download takes 20 minutes or so at 2.5 megabyte. I mean, it doesn't take long, but that very first big patch, that's what happens. That's why the queue is so huge. Okay. Anybody else got any thoughts about, comments about how that works? What you think about it, and any more stuff about what do you think? What you're thinking?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Gortok?
Wasn't there some discussion of some new ships as well?
The only new ship that I know
Kraken?
about, that was in a monthly report.
Okay.
The monthly report was talking about the Kraken, the Ironclad, new vehicles, and things like that. But we know this week, we're supposed to see a behind the ship about the new medium salvage ship. So that's coming. I'm not sure what day that's going to pop up, but it is coming. But other than that, that's pretty much everything I had on this. I'm going to look a little bit more in depth in this to find that exact thing about social and talk about it during the stream. Because that's huge. That's huge. Setting up the social is going to be pretty extensive. Anybody else got any thoughts, comments? We've been at this an hour and 34 minutes.
It seemed like it.
Something's going on with chat again. I'm not sure what's happening here. YouTube's not popping up. Radium says crack it. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting for that one.
You got one of them coming, don't you?
No, I do not.
Oh.
No,
Oh,
I
the
do not.
Ironclad is what you're looking at.
Yeah, but the Ironclad I have to get. I did not get it when it came out at the time. So what I'm going to do is reevaluate my fleet when that comes up, and then I may change some things, but the C2 is not going away. The 600i is staying.
Oh no, damn.
Right, the Mercury Star Runner staying. I've got to look at the fleet, reevaluate it, and go from there.
600i gonna stay?
Oh yeah, 600i is not going nowhere. Oh, don't forget about the most important ship of this Invictus, the battle cruiser. Yes, the battle cruiser. I'm not sure why you guys aren't coming up in YouTube again. Is it disconnected? Let me check. Hold on 1 second. I'm sending out a message real quick. What everyone's thoughts and opinions on wishes. It'll be how much it'll cost. There's going to be a big one about that. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, one of my YouTubes died. Okay, I knew something was going on.
Meeting room died because I'm watching Spectre 11.
Okay.
Apparently, he did not bring the donuts and coffee.
No,
Everyone
I did
left.
not.
Oh. Well.
What do you mean donuts and coffee? Battle Cruiser, whole limited and $3,000. If you buy the 50K pack, you can get every ship in the game, right?
Negative, sir.
Did CIG break their word and the Javelin won't be the biggest player purchasable ship? That I don't know. I'm not sure why I'm not getting something in here. Hold on. Oh, it's getting an error on this one. Error code. Okay. I'm not sure why it's not working on that. So that's why you guys are having a problem. Something is going on with Twitch. But or not Twitch, YouTube, the main channel is not working there. So I'm not sure why. Connection error.
Oh, it did stall. Yep.
Yeah. So not sure why. I'll have to figure it out. But other than that,
instead of using up all your bandwidth, man.
Oh well, it is what it is. I'm gonna have to look more into this SCL to go into the social and talk about it more. But that is pretty much all I've got for this Snowbirds meeting room. Anybody else got any thoughts, comments, questions about it? And see what you think. Hit me up in YouTube or Twitch about things while I'm streaming, and I will talk to you about it while I'm doing some other things and going through it. So thanks to Gortok and Tone for coming in and talking about stuff with me on this SCL and some topics that were pretty extensive compared to some other things that have been going on. But the social thing, I have to look more into it. And I will look up the things about Castra and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and close this episode out. So I hope you all enjoyed it. It was fun talking with you guys about this. Let me know your thoughts. Like I say, 26, supposed to see some significant changes. Definitely waiting on that new inventory and crafting. And they did say that if they could put crafting in, but with the inventory now, it wouldn't work well. It would be ugly. That's what they said. So doing a new inventory and
At the same time, they're saying?
yeah, they're doing crafting and a new inventory at the same time. If they do it with the inventory now, if they bring crafting in, it wouldn't work well. So they're targeting that for 4.7, and we'll go from there. So
That's a rack. Sorry.
Fine. So that's it for me. Thanks to Gortok and Tone for hanging out with me. In theory, those aren't currently included in the high dollar ship pack. Right. Adding ways for us to interact in game will be good. Repair, rearm, refuel will be fun. Yeah? That is one thing that I'm waiting for the Polaris. And when the Ironclad comes, that's going to be awesome. So I'm hoping they do the other ships before the Ironclad comes out. That'll be great. So thank you all for watching. Again, thanks to Tone and Gortok for coming in and talking with me about this. And like I say, I will look at this a little bit more so I can find out more about social. There was a lot of information in this SCL. So see you all next Sunday for the Snowbirds meeting room. Tomorrow I will be in working on some stuff. And everybody, have a wonderful Sunday. Take care and see you tomorrow. Have a good one.
Shadow Spectre 11 hailing. Thank you for the likes and the views. Remember to tickle that notification bell so you won't miss our next videos. Thanks again. Shadow Spectre 11 signing off.